Lori Vallow-Daybell, a mother of two, is a compelling enigma entangled in her seemingly regular existence. Her narrative is perplexing, revealing a network of secrets and apocalyptic ideas. Despite her seemingly routine existence, she gets caught up in a complicated web of disappearances and deaths, prompting readers to wonder about the limits of darkness inside the human psyche. Prepare for an adventure into the core of a mother's secret malevolence. Lori Vallow's story has caught the public's interest in the arena of true crime. It's the story of a regular lady who transforms into a triple murder suspect amid a web of intriguing circumstances. Lori Vallow's story, dubbed Doomsday Mom, is a complicated one of family, faith, and the tragic circumstances that led to her sentencing. Let's get started. Lori Vallow's perplexing behavior has left the whole world flabbergasted, as she claims to detect malignant spirits within individuals and has earned the moniker Doomsday Mom. The whereabouts of the youngsters in this complex circumstance is a worldwide source of worry. Lori and her newlywed husband remained silent while the world worried if her two missing kids were safe. They considered law enforcement to be the catalyst for their cataclysmic finale. However, 3 years later, detectives discovered the truth. The suspected Arizona mother would eventually face murder charges in Idaho. Lori Vallow was first recognized as an all-American mother who was also a fervent Mormon. How did this persona become a triple murder suspect? Lori's path to infamy began in Arizona, when her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, voiced concerns about her hazardous religious views. Charles, a semi-pro baseball player, was concerned about Lori's behavior, which he thought had escalated into something deadly. He moved for divorce, claiming Lori's claims to be a translated person and a glorified goddess prepared for Christ's second coming. Lori's threats, such as stating she could kill him with her powers, heightened Charles's anxieties. He sought assistance from the police, however, less could be done to aid. In the months that followed, Charles moved for divorce and voiced his wish for exclusive custody of their autistic adoptive son, JJ. Charles was desperate to shield his kid from Lori's increasingly unstable behavior. The turning point in this bleak narrative came on July 11, 2019, when Charles came to Lori's rental house to take JJ to special needs school. A fight broke out, resulting in a tragic battle with a baseball bat and gunfire. Lori's behavior instantly prompted concerns when Charles Vallow's life was brutally cut short. She drove away from the spot after Charles was fatally wounded, taking JJ with her, and stopped at Burger King before taking the youngster to school. Investigators questioned her intentions and emotional condition in the days following the incident. The probe into Lori Vallow's life took a frightening turn after Charles's death. She had been reading literature on near-death encounters and claimed to communicate with celestial entities, including Jesus, it was learned. She discussed her thoughts with Chad Daybell, an author from Idaho who thought he was a visionary following his own near-death experience. Despite getting married to different people, Chad and Lori reunited in 2018 and thought they were supposed to be together. Lori's religious views darkened, and she began to refer to her husband as a demonic spirit called Ned or Nick Schneider. Investigators determined that Sarah and Chad were part of a tiny circle of people who believed in their apocalyptic visions. The Lori Vallow death trial started with Charles's murder, but it did not end there. Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, too died tragically. On October 19, 2019, she died asleep under strange circumstances. While she was first thought to be in good condition, her death was eventually related to the couple's eschatological views. Tammy's death aroused eyebrows, especially after Chad paid in on her $400,000 life assurance policy and wedded Lori 3 weeks later. The sequence of fatalities, as well as the web of ideologies that surrounded them, grabbed the attention of police authorities. Brandon Boudreau, who got married to Lori's niece Melanie, was the subject of an attempted murder in a surprising turn of events. He contacted 911 when his Tesla was fired at, narrowly avoiding serious injury. Lori, Chad, and her late brother, Alex Cox, were accused of planning the attack as part of their troubling beliefs. Brandon's life was in jeopardy, according to the report, because Lori and Chad felt he had been taken over by a demonic spirit. This tragedy, together with Tammy's death and the abduction of Lori's children, sent waves of shock across several law enforcement organizations, prompting the FBI's participation. As the inquiry progressed, the emphasis switched to Lori's two children, JJ Vallow, 7, and Tylee Ryan, 16. Tylee was last seen with JJ, Lori, and her uncle Alex Cox on September 8 at Yellowstone National Park. JJ went on September 22. He went missing. Lori gave different reports of their locations, including one in which she said JJ was with a friend in Arizona. Because of these fraudulent assertions, authorities were motivated to find the missing youngsters. The hunt for JJ and Tylee resulted in an unexpected find in Chad Daybell's backyard. Human remains were discovered and recognized as JJ and Tylee's. The children had suffered a horrific destiny, and their corpses had been bundled in duct tape and cremated. Lori felt her children had turned into zombies and had to be exterminated, according to the report. This shocking news sent shockwaves across the country, and Lori and Chad were ultimately apprehended. The relatives of those killed have been patiently waiting for closure for 3 years as Lori Vallow's trial begins. The Woodcock and Boudreaux loved ones, in particular, have expressed a desire for Lori to be held accountable for her conduct. The evidence put forward against Lori and Chad will be presented in court, and the trial will be keenly observed. The victims' relatives are hoping for closure and punishment for their loved ones who were victims of the terrible ideas and activities of what was dubbed Doomsday Mom and her associates. Lori Vallow's narrative is a terrifying depiction of how an average life may devolve into darkness when propelled by strong ideas and deeds. In the face of tragedy, it serves as an illustration of the significance of security forces, support from relatives, and the search for justice. Lori Vallow's narrative is a terrifying depiction. She was found guilty on May 12, 2023. On July 31, 2023, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murders of Tylee Ryan and Joshua J.J. Vallow, as well as 3 counts of conspiracy to commit murder in their deaths and Tammy Daybell's death. She will serve 3 consecutive life sentences of imprisonment. In addition, she was also sentenced to 10 years for grand theft by deception of both children's Social Security benefit payments after their deaths. She is ordered to pay a determined amount in fines, civil penalties, and $22,545 restitution at the time of sentencing. Judge Stephen Boyce determined it to be important for Vallow-Daybell to be held accountable for each separate crime that were committed at separate times, per each victim. Thank you for watching, and if you like it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more gripping real crime stories. Keep a watch out for our next tale.